I'll call the meeting to order as the vice chairman, and first thing on the agenda, I guess, is to reorganize the board. So we'll take nominations for chairman.
I would nominate Jeff Frith. Chairman. Second.
Jeff Fritz's been nominated for chairman. Is there any other nominations?
Nominations closed and cast unanimous ballot.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sounds like a railroad job.
Jeff's the chairman. You want to take over right now?
All right, I guess the next item of business is the vice chairman. I'd open up the floor for nominations. And Bill's the current vice chairman, that has to be reorganized, I would presume.
Yep.
I'll move that Bill be the vice chairman.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? And all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Everybody have a chance to read through those?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Did you have some corrections on there, Jerry?
Well, just when Lonnie Olson gave an opinion, just did some typo. She says grave, and I don't want to say longevity on
He
it.
gave an opinion. He agreed. Okay. Which paragraph? Oh, there we go. Gave. Okay.
I don't mind typos, it's the other adjectives that go with my name that you look at.
I would do that.
Any other corrections?
I just have a question about it. So does that mean the entire town side of Penn is zoned agricultural?
That's what we,
I think we looked.
Is that what you, was that the conclusion you came to, is that it was zoned agricultural? Okay.
There's a little map of each town site in that book.
Yep.
Somewhere in there.
I saw
And
it,
I
but
think
it
when we
didn't.
looked at it, it was just agriculture right in with the township, I think. It was.
Okay.
Kind of never incorporated.
No.
So
So if you're not incorporated, you're automatically agricultural
I
there?
think when you look through the first part there, I think that it was never incorporated and just remained agriculturally zoned.
and no other action had ever been taken to make it agricultural, so it just stayed that way.
Yep.
That's my understanding anyway.
Yep. So,
Okay.
Any other additions or corrections to the minutes? All in favor of the minutes with the one correction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion on upcoming projects. Anybody have anything that needs to be updated or projects? Was it the thoughts that we needed to do something with that sandpiper pipeline?
Well, they just, they emailed and called Betty and my office, and so since then, they've met with the county commission. And they were just wondering if the county wanted to issue any special use permit or conditional use permit, because other counties were requiring it when they're going through counties. So, you know, the county could put stipulations on for a conditional use or a special use permit. And they just wanted to know an answer yes or no, does the county want to put it in?
That's a commission decision, really, county commission.
Yeah,
But with a recommendation from the board, from the zoning and.
I would think that the county commission would send it back to this one, right? It's up to the county commission unless they want to send it to the
That's-
planning commission.
That's right, but I think that's
Yep.
why we decided to have this meeting, so that we could send it back. That was my understanding of the whole
Okay.
process anyway.
And then kind of to get organized again.
Well, yeah.
And so it'd be up to this board to decide whether or not we want to put any specials on that as it comes through.
Where does the county commission sit up? Did you guys,
We just make a recommendation to the county.
right, correct.
And I don't
Yeah.
know the ones, they're the ones who
We'll,
take the action.
we'll
yeah.
decide, but,
Yeah.
We didn't want to circumvent it, you know, without going through the planning and zoning, just so everybody stays aware of everything that's going on. But when they came in, they were the ones that came in and said that they had already talked to all the townships, right? Any township that got touched by that, they already talked to them, and the townships would probably be in charge of doing any haul roads or anything like that, bonding any haul roads or anything like that, so. You know, I don't know that we have anything to do other than if we want to issue the permit so that we could start that processing and letting the townships know that once somebody comes to them and say they're going to do something like that, that they would come and get it approved through our, you know, it seems like some things are going around and we're not, everybody on this board isn't being let in on or not aware of it, so that when somebody talks to us that we don't know exactly what's going on. So the process, I don't know if the cart got in front of the horse or what happened, but maybe they didn't know that the Planning and Zoning Commission was here or organized. So, but apparently when they came, that was the basement down at the township offices.
at the township officers meeting.
They came and said that they had already talked to all the townships and stuff.
Anybody here have in a township that is being touched by the state sector? It's all north, right? Yeah. Okay.
Kevin, do we have any town or county roads that are, it's crossing?
We do.
Several, I'm sure.
Yep.
And have you addressed that issue, or did you have issues with it?
We're just gonna use our right-of-way permit,
Okay.
and there'll be a fee with each permit, but
I know they came to the water board and discussed their route, and the water board went and through each of the assessed drains that they have through that route and made some conditions and recommendations to them, so.
I don't know if the county was to issue a conditional use permit, you know, would that just be two things that could be on the conditional use permit, that they work closely and have all road crossings approved by the county road superintendent and the water board approve all the water crossings?
Yep.
You know, that could be two items on the conditional use permit if the county thinks we should issue a conditional use permit.
Well, just for the track record, I think it'd be a good idea.
Well, otherwise, if something else is coming through the county, it'd be pretty tough to say they need one.
Yeah.
You know,
Sounds to me like they're fairly taking care of business like as it should be taken care of.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Right, right.
That's,
I think each township had their own right-of-way permits also on this particular project.
Which townships are
They were all different fees. The fees range from $500 to $2,000. That's where it would have been nice to have everybody all on the same boat. Everybody get the same fees.
but then if the townships are taking care of it,
Right.
you know, if they're crossing through a township that had ceded their authority to the county, then we'd be talking something else again. But if they're not, and they're going through townships that have maintained all their authority, then we're pretty much, you can issue a permit if you want to, I guess it's no big deal, but it doesn't mean much.
Yeah, at this point, I think you're right. But had we been ahead of the curve,
Yeah,
now,
but now it's kind
they
of,
did their legwork already, so.
That'd be all that we would say, is that township has
Work with
taken
the
their own
townships.
zoning, so, but it'd just be nice to be informed. Do you know, Kevin, were those fees assessed on a per mile, or
No per crossing, per,
Cross,
yep,
okay, so that's the difference in the prices.
yep. Each crossing got X amount.
But that's the problem right there, is the comprehensive plan, that 6.73. That's the issue you're talking about. You know, that's the kind of thing that goes in a comprehensive plan, is what, one of the things you issue permits for. The world's changed a lot since 1973. So,
And that's one thing that was in our
Yeah.
minutes that we work on, so.
I think it was the same way with the coolies and the drains, each crossing got a certain fee.
Yeah,
Sure it's good.
yeah.
I don't know if there are any townships that don't do their own zoning and planning on that route with the Sandway.
They're probably dead.
Probably.
so that,
Who did the
I'm
book for
going,
us?
she wanted to know who did the booklet. I said, they're probably dead.
They're probably confused.
Was that something that was, commissioned out and paid for?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I know Mayor Johnson.
We'll have it done tomorrow.
We forgot.
Change the names, protect the innocent.
I'd have to hire him. Oh, yes.
Well, with the commissioners that are here, would you prefer that we did anything with the conditional use permit as a recommendation to, for future reference? If any other companies decide to come through with a pipeline or a power line or what have you, to make sure that they come through this organization first?
there's really, I don't know if there's that much we can do right now, or need to do right now, because a conditional use permit is just that, it's granted, each one's individual. So, we just have to stay apprised of what's going on, and when somebody's looking to come through, we need to talk to them.
Yeah.
If that's what, I mean, that's what you want to do, if you want to have county representation, that's how you get it handled.
Yeah.
You know, it's, and then if we ever get around to redoing the comprehensive plan, then we put it in there, but you still have to have somebody that's the point person that interacts with these people that want to access, you know, have right of ways through the county. That it's a case by case basis. You don't just put a big sign up on the edge of the county before you come here. You got to talk to somebody, because you got to deal with each one individually.
Kevin, as a condition of the permit, do they have to put the roadway back in pre-construction condition and all that type of?
They all have to be bored, yep. Even the coolie crossings need to be bored,
Yeah.
There won't be any open cuts.
not through the right of ways.
Is there a depth for that or anything then?
I think it
Set
was,
depth?
on our permit, I can't talk for the townships, but ours was 4 feet below the ditch line, wherever the ditch line hit.
How about through coulees and waterways and stuff like that?
I think they did the same thing. I think it was like a 4 foot below the bottom of the coulee. I think, you know, each one could have been different. You know, they went through each individual one as it passed through the county, but I'm not sure if they did that, you know, blanket across all of them, you know, to that depth, or if they had individual requirements for them. It's been quite a while since they've,
Well, we go a little clean out there. I mean, is there
well, yeah. And that's the other thing is to determine the bottom of the depth of that channel.
4
And
feet below the
four
center.
feet below that,
Right.
right?
yeah. And not where it's currently at.
With the sensitive nature of that watershed, I think that would be very important to
Yeah,
make sure it got dealt with right.
yeah.
And then we also stipulated they have to have a thicker wall pipe underneath the right of way.
And I think they did that with the water as well. Yeah,
A thicker pipe or a double pipe?
A thicker.
A thicker
Yeah,
pipe.
we couldn't get them going.
You couldn't get them to go with the double
that
pipe.
double pipe,
Why?
They said that it wasn't possible or
It wasn't
whatever.
necessary, I think, is what.
That, maybe that's what it was.
It didn't provide any benefit.
Well, one man's necessity is another man's gravy.
Yeah.
But I will say they do a good job of inspecting their lines with cameras and whatever, so if there would be a leak or a weak spot showed up, they would be on top of that. And rather than, I know sometimes when they do dig those up to repair them, but a lot of times they'll just case them with something. I have no idea what they case them with. I think there's one out in, your township that they're putting down 18 feet deep or some silly number like that.
Well, it goes underneath the railroad, and the spot that they found that's bad is directly underneath the Burlington. Burlington won't let them go in the same area or just patch that spot or anything.
Okay.
They gotta go down and they gotta bury down 35 feet underneath the railroad bed and come back up and attach again on the field.
So they're not repairing it, they're replacing it.
Right. Yeah.
35
Good
feet,
job.
that's just
Quite a cut.
3 stories in the air, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not cut, it's a more.
More, yeah. But, yeah, they
You're
got-
lucky Ramsey
but
County
still,
isn't going to north of them, huh? Long ways down.
We think we should call, get a hold of the townships that do their own zoning and stuff like that, and ask them if they will give us what they use for recommendations on this stuff, so that we can see if they're all consistent and we can be consistent with them,
Or should we ask them to be consistent with us?
yeah.
But it's a trickle down, isn't it?
Yeah, good
We follow
question.
the state law. The township follows the county, they can make it more stringent, but they can't make it less.
Well, it's whoever's the most stringent prevails.
They can't be less stringent than state law.
Right. They can't be less stringent than state law.
Yeah.
Well, the county can't.
The county can't
Either.
either,
No.
but they can be more so,
Right.
yeah, to a point.
But then here's the question, if the county's more stringent, does that not then mean that the township must be more stringent as well?
I think it has to be at least as stringent as state law, that's been a court case.
Okay.
Yeah, so to answer your question, I don't know, that's a good question. Just for your information, probably.
How many townships do their own zoning, does anybody know?
I have that list in my office.
Is it most of them?
There might be 6 maybe that don't do their own.
That don't do that?
I think
The rest of them
there
all
may
do.
be more. I'd have to count them again. Some have adopted counties and some are,
So do
but
they
I
have,
can't remember. I have to listen.
do they have an inspection program then to ensure that, I'm sure, Enbridge knows what they're doing, but is there anybody who holds them accountable to make sure they are going down the 4 feet below the ditch line and 4 feet, or is it just honesty or just we're doing?
Yeah, it'd be their engineering firm, but like you say, it's probably their engineering firm. Unless we would drive out there and look, but even I wouldn't know if it was their more than 4 feet deep.
Does the oil and gas committee monitor that stuff? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know there's state pipeline inspectors to a point, but I think it's for things like right-of-way depth and things like that. But I'm not 100% sure.
This is all good discussion, and we can write down questions and stuff and see if we can come up with answers for our next meeting, but I don't think our comprehensive plan has any guidelines or anything like that for,
That one is 45 years old.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
The pipeline would have an engineer hired that would be watched out over a contractor.
Yeah.
But that would be it.
You gotta start somewhere, so they probably have to dig down and pick off from there.
Those boring machines, they use GPS and everything, yeah, they know where they're at.
And I don't know if it's the industrial commissioner or the public service commissioner, who watches over pipelines.
Well, the Public Service Commission is the one that handles the hearings for pipeline permits, so I'm assuming if they're the ones with the granting authority, they must also have the regulatory authority with it.
One must would think so.
Well, weren't they trying to, with the legislature this year, get more pipeline inspectors? through the Public Service Commission? Wasn't that a Public Service Commission
And
bill?
the pipeline inspectors,
And
and
then-
rail inspectors.
And it failed, so.
See, there's a, I don't know what, I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with the pipeline bill, but I know the rail inspector bill died because right now, rail inspection is responsibility of the federal government and railroads. The state doesn't want to have any liability. And that's why they killed it. Because the state put on 2 rail inspectors, all of a sudden the state has a model for liability of any rail accident. And they don't want that.
But the state already has pipeline inspectors.
Yeah,
So that's Yeah, it's not enough according to,
Well, probably not. Not with what's going on. I mean,
No.
they're building pipelines.
but they,
Yeah.
I think it failed.
Probably good.
We might not be inventing a wheel here, but we might have some, you get some advice from some of those western counties and stuff like that, maybe already. And what they're asking for in their comprehensive plans or their planning and zoning commissions. Did we do that, Elizabeth? Should we email out to some of those people?
Yeah, we should check and see if we have any authority in any townships, or do they all the townships are doing their own, kind of a moot issue to the county.
And that kind of moves into that House Bill 1258, I think it was, that, you know, they had that bill in and passed the Senate by like 95%, that to give the townships one more opportunity to relinquish their zoning privileges to the county. And then it went over to the House side, and I think it failed by 7 votes. I'm not sure, but I think that's when I tried to look it up this morning. So that way it just stays the same as it was, but they tried, and we might try again at the next legislative to give them one more chance, just in case. Because some of these townships out there, I know they want the authority, but when it comes down to this real nitpicky stuff, they might want to have some help. So, but I'm not positive that it failed, but I thought it was, it looked to me like it failed by 7 votes.
Any more discussion on Sandpiper and what our recommendations back to the county commission would be?
So we'll send an email out and see if there's any advice that we can get from some of those western counties that are dealing with it a little more.
See what they done. But, you know, I think what has been mentioned is that it's already been done through the county as far as the townships, the water resource board, the county highway department, townships and everything else, so,
Just so,
but we should have something in place for the next time.
just so we have the language in our plan. You know.
Right. And then I think we need to find somebody to update that plan, comprehensive plan for us. County commission, have any extra dollars going around?
Well, there was talk that we might be able to get a grant
A grant for
through
it?
North Center Planning for it.
That'd be great.
We can check into that as a starting point anyway. I sure as heck don't want to spend any more money on taxes for, spend any tax money for updating a plan. We've gotten a lot in trouble for not updating a lot of things in the county over the years, and now we're paying the piper.
Any other projects that need to be brought forth?
Any updates from the city officials on the refinery? Sheriff?
No, nothing. We hope to have a development agreement pretty well put together by this week. We were out there last week, met with the developers and good meetings, and now it's between the attorneys to, we've agreed in principle and everything. So we'll see here this, we hope for some information in today and come together over there, so it's looking positive.
Once that's completed, then start the permitting process through the health department?
He's got the permits ready to go. And they will submit those as soon as the agreement's signed. And then they'll start their traffic studies of the rail and transportation or highways. They'll start that right away, and they have a firm lined up to do that, so engineering firm. So that'll be the trigger. It's about 36 pages. It's been a task.
The agreement.
Yeah, that's about where last I saw it. Marked up version, the last marked up version was 36. Started out 28.
Anything else, Dick?
I don't think so. I think that's, everything's predicated upon that development agreement, and they're cool with it, and our committee was cool with it. And we're kind of out of it now, for the attorneys to get together, put this verbiage together, and we agree on the concept of it.
Whole page full of whereases and so forth. and-
Reasonable, that word reasonable standard always caused a lot of debate. We found out it's an attorney's terminology. But between Tom Trainer and Lane Powell people, we got it worked out.
Good. That truck route out there, is that moving forward as, or is it on hold?
Yeah, I'll let Kevin work on
Yeah, no, it's moving forward, it's keeping our fingers crossed, we might have all of it done by the end of the summer. by the
Really?
fall.
Wow.
So we've already got a contractor in place to do the east-west part, and with the new House Bill, Senate bill, we've got the money to do the north-south part also, so we're doing the legwork for that right now. And they're allowing us to change order that project onto the old project, so that's gonna save bidding time and all that, so.
Nice.
So it'll be paved by the end of the summer, probably?
No paving at all, gravel.
Is that close?
Yeah.
it. Just in case not everybody does know, that includes a curve in the road
Where
coming
the
south,
turn
where
is.
they can, the money that we got from the state stipulated that it had to be a 55-mile-an-hour road, but we put in a request to have 45-mile-an-hour curve in the road, so we have to design that curve so the truck traffic can go 45 around the curve. You know, everybody knows where that is, so that'll be. And I think they did approve that, or, that hasn't been approved yet.
What's that, the project?
That
The 45
exception for
curve.
the curve, the 45-mile part.
No, it hasn't been approved yet, but it will be. Right now, we're talking about going all the way across all the way to the south with the 45 too,
Yeah, to continue on with the 45 all the way to,
because you're getting into industrial and stuff like that, so, and railroad tracks, so we're just gonna leave it 45, once, if you're going,
Southward.
yeah, south will be 45 also.
and then that request that's in for them to make that little change on the road that where it matches up to the highway. It's gonna come so it's not at a 45 to the highway, it's at more of a perpendicular to the highway.
Yeah,
And that'd be a little bit of change right on Highway 2 there.
the state highway had a project planned for turn lanes on US 2, both to the north and to the south. And now, since the refinery came about and everything, they want to make those 90-degree enter and exits, so it involves a lot of right-of-way purchase and stuff like that. But that will be a big project.
Yeah.
Well, that'll improve visibility
Oh, right.
tremendously. It's a nightmare.
How about going straight west out of that road, where that curve's supposed to be? Can you still go, will you still be?
Yeah, we'll build a new entrance, exit, whatever you want to call it. It'll be 90 degrees also. It won't have that
Oh, okay. So you won't be
looking
able-
over your shoulder thing. It'll be a
Yeah.
90-degree entrance.
So you'll bring that back to the south?
Yeah, we're not sure if it'll just come from the south or the west or the center, but yes, it'll have a 90-degree.
We'll have the stop sign, the north-south traffic and the west to east traffic. Stop sign them for that.
Oh, yes, yeah. Right, the truck will have it right away. Yeah.
Anything else, any other projects that should be brought forth for discussion? Hearing none, next meeting date and time?
Just maybe a review of the membership, and if we're short any members or anything like that, maybe we should see if we can find some, or.
And John Martinson wasn't able to,
He called this morning and he would still like to be on the board. He said he had some plan for today, so.
okay,
So do we have a full board then?
Yep, we have 9 members,
Okay.
and that's what Century Code says, the 5-member county commission, there's 9 members, yeah.
see Jim and Jerry and John are all up there this year.
So just send us a letter and tell us how bad you want to be on this.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Hasn't been a real much workload.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how hard's it been for the last 3 years?
June 4th and 12th was the last.
Once we decide to do the new comprehensive.
That'll
we'll
get,
find
it'll get,
somebody.
yeah.
That'll get to work then, yeah.
Well, and it just makes sense if, you know, if and when this project comes along with the oil refinery, that we have an up-to-date comprehensive plan in place as a guideline. It's,
Yeah.
you know, maybe there hasn't been much need for it before now, but there certainly will be.
Did we want to schedule a meeting, or did we want to wait until something comes up? Or?
Well, we can try to work on getting some information back. It'd be something that we could start working on. Does everybody have a copy of the comprehensive plan?
I don't know.
It's digital, so.
It's on the website, right?
Yeah.
It's digital on the website.
Plus it's on a new permanent copy.
A little homework for everybody to maybe go through
It's
that.
nice you have a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll put you to sleep.
I'll tell you, you just wait till you read B16, it's like, I'm kidding, no, I'm kidding.
Who did that?
It's a company out of Denver did it, Charles Gator. When did you last update the cities?
Just been the other day, about 15 years ago. Something like that, wasn't it, Craig? Something like that.
About 15 years
That's
ago?
73 hours with 74.
Yeah.
Oh, I
it's-
see.
Yeah,
We do have,
I'd say it's in the 90s.
there's an engineering firm in North Dakota here that's pretty into the zoning and planning. And I've got his business card laying on my desk, because it's the Association of Counties meeting.
Yeah, it's.
When he talked a little bit about, and I said, well, the townships around here, most of them along the lake do their own. And, including approving subdivisions. He said townships can't approve subdivisions. So that's why I got his business card still laying on my desk. He said, give me a call someday. So if we're looking for somebody to redo it, there is somebody in North Dakota that's really into the county and township zoning and planning. Works for some engineering firm. I don't remember his name.
Might be a good place to start.
Maybe if we had a price, then we could tell North Central Planning what kind of grant we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should have another meeting and invite a couple of engineers to do presentations, or firms to do presentations.
Well, I think first you've got to decide whether or not you want to, and then just put out an RFP, and they'll come to you.
Yeah.
I suppose it'd be fair to say if these are not Google Maps, but
Well, can we put out one of those without having a definitive yes, yeah, we're gonna do it? Or we just want prices?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. You don't,
We don't.
you're gonna make your decision based on the results of your RFP.
Okay.
That's,
Right, and the county would want to make a decision based on the results of the RFP and whether or not there's grants available and so
right.
Sure.
So we could start with that.
Okay.
Do you need a motion?
I'd like one.
Okay.
Move to put out an
Move to
RFP.
put out a RFP for revising the Ramsey County Comprehensive Plan.
Okay. Second? Moved and second. Any further discussion?
So then that has to be approved by the county, right?
Yeah.
We don't have any spending authority, I'm guessing.
Right,
I was gonna say
right.
recommendation.
All I'm asking for is an RFP. I'm not asking for acceptance of bids or anything at this point.
There shouldn't be any cost to you guys with an RFP.
No.
No, no.
What's a
Request
Request for
Request for
proposal.
proposals.
So what, that, I mean, but if you advertise, well, you wouldn't do it till the county approved it.
The advertising.
Yeah, the advertising.
The county would do the advertising.
Yes.
We're just making a recommendation that the
Yeah,
commission
let's
do an
do it.
RFP.
Yeah, let's amend it to say it's a recommendation to the county for an RFP.
So should we put that on the agenda for tomorrow night?
Michael? You can take care of that.
That's okay with your second, that amended?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Been moved, seconded that we bring forward to the county commission a recommendation to have an RFP for updating the comprehensive plan. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So, once we hear back from them, and then we can work on putting an RFP together and how long should we give them to have a return? Month, 2 months?
That has to be advertised in the paper for 21 days.
So that's the expense part that the county commission is approving.
And what is that, a statewide thing then, or how?
You only have to put it in a local paper.
Yeah.
That'd be
But it's a state law.
official publication of the county.
Yep.
And then they're gonna need some time to put it together because it's something that big, that comprehensive, they don't know what has, so it's gonna take time to prepare their RFP.
Right.
Yeah,
You're probably 90 days out.
90 days? No.
Would seem reasonable. Gives them 21 days, another 60, round numbers, 90 days.
So, and that'd certainly be contingent on what the county commission approves tomorrow evening. All right. Any further discussion, or was that already passed?
That was passed, we need a
Okay.
motion on
All right. And then we should have a scheduled meeting following that. Once the RFPs are,
Should be able to get that done sometime in the third quarter,
yeah,
that. So if you want to just work with me, it's good.
yeah, we'll see what works for everybody's schedules, and we don't wanna be just too disgruntled with the farming operations.
Just call someone.
Short notice, if it's rain, then we can call you guys. Any further business? Not, motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.